Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Couch Coaching. I'm Vincent, that's Jimmy, and today we're going to talk about the final quarter for the Pittsburgh Steelers of the 2013 season. The Pittsburgh Steelers, this has been an up and down season for them. They actually did okay this quarter of the season. They won. They were actually 2-2,
yeah,
3-1. They beat the Buffalo. They beat the Buffalo Bills 23-10. Also beat the beat the Detroit Lions 37-27. Then they beat Cleveland 27-11. And then if they'd have won that Baltimore game, which they ended up losing 22-20, and that was look, they always have a tough game when they play each other. The Steelers could really be in contention for that final playoff spot, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah, and I still feel that they have a shot. And we'll get into it later matchup.
Right.
But I think that it's just, in my opinion, I think it's a little late.
Right.
I think now in order for you to get that spot, for one, of course, this week has to be a must-win.
Right. Every game is a must-win.
Right. You got to win out, and then you still got to get help.
Right.
And you know what happens when you got to rely on other people to get the help that you need.
Exactly.
It's not always going to be there.
Right. Exactly.
So, is there still a shot? Yeah, but if you go back and look at some of the games they should have won, then it would put them in a better situation than where they're at right now.
And the thing about it is with the Steelers this year, they've been up and down, and at the beginning of the first half of the season, I'm gonna honestly tell you, I thought that Haley was gone. I thought he was done. I was like, forget it. Stop shop like we had been talking about earlier. Stop shopping for a house. You're not gonna get one because there's no reason you stay. You're done. But the offense has actually picked up, and the defense has played better. During this quarter of the season.
And I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I'm looking at their team stats right now. Total yards per game is 338.6. That's 15, so that's in the middle of the pack.
Right.
Basically for the whole team, NFC and AFC.
Right.
Passing yards a game, 261, 8th. So they're in the top 10.
Right.
Rushing. Again, offensive line is terrible.
Right.
It's been terrible for many years.
Well, they've been hurt.
Right.
So, for the entire year.
It's been terrible for the past couple of years. They're only averaging 76 yards, which is 31st.
Right.
I don't even know who the last team is that's averaging less than that.
Less than what? Yards?
76.8. Because they're ranked 31st.
Right.
There's still one team out there getting less than them, and I can't even think about who
Probably
that
Jacksonville.
is. Probably. And we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
They're getting 21.9 points a game, 22nd. Third down, still, 39%.
Yeah, they got to do better with that.
And then yards allowed, 340, which is 13. So, in all actuality, offensive side, middle of the pack, could be better. But, as of right now, I guess we can't blame all of it on Todd. I just don't like the fact that some of the stuff he's trying to implement is not not working.
The thing about it is, and we Pittsburgh Steelers fans, y'all can help us out with this if you want to make some comments at the bottom of the page after you watch the video. But with any NFL team and people that watch football, sometimes it just happens. That one play can turn the game.
Right.
So we're talking about the last quarter of the season. But if you look at their season in a capsule, they should have beat Tennessee.
Yeah, there should have been no.
Penalty got hurt, other things happened.
And
they should have beaten Tennessee.
When you start going back and looking at the teams that they should have beaten, the teams that even now going forward after seeing what their seasons are like,
right,
should have had no problem with that.
They should have beat Tennessee. They should have beaten. I'm a Raider fan. They should have beaten the Raiders. Those teams, these are wins you should have gotten.
And if you dissect that game, you don't give up that long touchdown play.
Yeah, you win the game.
That first play of the game, you don't give up that long. On top of that, you missed a 31, 36.
Yeah.
And you're missing 3 field goals in that game as well.
Look at the Jets. They lost to the Jets. I'm sorry. I'm take that back. They beat the Jets. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong score. When they went to London, also lost to Minnesota. Those games, if you just, and again, and I know Tom is going to have this speech with them at the end of the season that they don't get into the playoffs, but that's the thing. You have to play every down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's football.
Yeah.
Because you just never know what'll happen. Because you look at that, that's 4 wins, that's 4 losses that they had that they should have had as far as a win. If you just get 1 or 2 of those, then when you're instead of being in the hunt, you are holding that last position.
Right. Because I mean now
possibly even winning the AFC North.
Yeah, possibly, but I don't know the way Cincinnati's playing. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. The last part of this quarter is going to be crucial. Every game is a must-win game, and I mean, and that's just the way they have to look at it. That's the way that we have to look at it as a fan. That's how we also look at it as people who are talking about this. This is a must-win. If they do not win this one, they might as well go ahead and hang up their season. And me and you were talking about this earlier. And again, if anybody out there in Steeler Nation feels the same way that I do, just let me know. Or if I'm wrong, let me know. If we don't win this game, and this obviously is a must-win game.
Right.
If we don't win this game, then I don't want Ben to be back out there. And my personal feeling as a fan, I want to see what talent we got.
Right.
I want to see what talent we have at our quarterback position, at our wide out position, our line position. I want to find out what talent we have to where next year we know where we're going. If Todd Haley is going to be the offensive coordinator, then I want to know the backup quarterback that he signed off on.
Right. It's going to be good enough.
It's going to be good enough if Ben gets hurt. If something were to happen to where Ben doesn't get a contract extension, or I want to make sure that this team isn't going to be in a rebuilding mode for 5 years.
Right.
While Haley's here, I want to know that the guy behind Ben is going to be it. If not, we're looking at possibly picking at the top maybe 10 picks this year.
Right.
I mean, because if we don't win and all that stuff, we don't go to the playoffs. I don't know where we're sitting at, but we're looking at probably the top 10 depending on our record.
Well, the thing about it is, and look, I hear what you're saying about sitting Ben down if they don't win this game because, again, if you don't win this game, then you're basically done as far as trying to. But I don't think that Tomlin or the Steeler or the Steeler organization, I don't think that they would do that because you got other people fighting for playoff positions. You got what I'm saying? That you're gonna be playing. Like for example, the first team that we're playing in this last quarter of the season will be the Miami Dolphins.
Right, which is a must win.
Which is a must win. So and Miami is coming to Pittsburgh, and matter of fact, Miami is one of the teams that's in front of you in order to get that last playoff spot.
Right, so that's what I'm saying.
So they have to win this game.
They have to. So that's what I'm saying. Ben will play in this one, but here's my deal: is that if you don't win this one,
right?
All right. The only way that I would feel comfortable if Ben kept playing and all that was that if you didn't win this one, Cincinnati didn't win theirs,
right?
And Baltimore didn't win theirs,
right?
And Cleveland didn't win theirs. Only then would I feel comfortable in saying, okay, well, we still have a shot. But I still believe that they have to win out on all of them.
Right.
Regardless of what they do.
They do have to win out.
Cincinnati is too far up. And Baltimore is 1 game up than you.
And
because you split that. The only thing that helps you out is that Cleveland beat them.
Right.
And you beat Cleveland.
Right.
So now you have to beat Cleveland at the last game.
Every team at this point in the season in the AFC is playing for 1 spot.
Right.
Because we know that whoever the other wild card spot is going to go to, it's going to go to Kansas City. I'm not going to say either Denver or Kansas City. It's going to go to Kansas City.
Right. I feel the same way.
So we already know that spot is locked up.
Right.
So every AFC team that's in the hunt is fighting for 1 playoff spot. But I'm back to what we were talking about earlier with possibly seeing some other talent. Look, I don't believe Tomlin and anybody's going to do that. The only way you're going to see those people play is that if some of these games turn into blowouts. And then you may see them play.
The problem that I have with that, the only problem I have with that is that when you don't do that,
right?
All right. Now this year, luckily, for some odd reason, Ben's been healthy
the entire time, right?
Ben has been healthy the entire time. This is like a few times that I can remember that he was actually healthy throughout the whole season.
Right.
We're not even done with it, but so far so good.
Yeah, knock on some fake wood.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that. But I mean, if he weren't, we would have to see what that talent is.
Right.
And what I don't want to see next year is that, just like Pouncey, anything can happen at any given time.
Right.
Pouncey got hit by his own player, friendly fire, and it cost him to be out for the entire season.
Right.
So what I don't want to see happen is, something happened to Ben now.
Right.
And then we got to go through a whole season next year with the fact of, with the backup quarterback.
Right.
So, I mean, because that's what I'm saying. If you're not playing for anything now.
Right.
Then
which they are. And I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying because the thing about it is, and look, all they can do at this point, and I know this is coach speak and all that, but all they can do at this point is take one game at a time.
Right, and I totally understand that. Yeah. And I feel the same way. They have to look at it one game. They can't look at Cincinnati, Green Bay, or Cleveland. They got to look at the Miami Dolphins right now. So having said that, as of right now, you don't win this game, your playoffs are done. What I don't want to see happen is, okay, we played Ben against we played Ben against Cincinnati. He ends up getting hurt, tears his Achilles. It's been happening all season long with everybody.
ACLs, right?
ACLs, Achilles, I mean all kinds, and he's out. Well, now we don't get him until October of next year.
Right.
Well, that means we got 4 games with a backup that no one knows anything about.
Right.
I'd rather lose the backup
than lose
Ben because next year everybody's back at 0.
The thing about it is, Jimmy, is that again, the one thing that I can say about the NFL, and I'm going to go out on a limb. Well, I'm probably just the modern era NFL is that there is some kind of integrity involved, and especially after they changed the scheduling to where you have some some conference games at the end of the season.
Right.
If you don't, like you say, let's say for example that they do lose to Miami and lose in a bad way. Okay, It's not even competitive. Just for example, and then they have Cincinnati next, and Cincinnati comes to Pittsburgh. Now let's say that they just go out there and they run out the backup quarterback for no real reason. They just run them out there, and then they get blown out again. How do you think New England feels? How do you think? Heck, everybody underneath, like for example, how do you think New England feel? Miami, who just beat them, you know what I'm saying? All the other teams that have a shot at getting that last playoff spot. I know Cincinnati has the AFC North locked up, but then so after they play Cincinnati, then they go to Green Bay. They go they run that guy out there again. Nothing's wrong with Ben. They just keep running that guy out there. Green Bay is actually fighting for a spot for NFC South spot. So how do you think the Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles? I'm just saying, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that. I understand.
It's the integrity of the game. That's all I'm saying.
I understand that. Yeah, and I do. And I'm not saying anything, but I don't care. I don't care. I mean, I love football. Yeah. But the problem is, I like the Steelers more, and I like the fact that I want to know what we got.
The fan in you is saying that, and I understand that. And I do understand that.
Half of me is like, I totally understand that. Keep playing your heart out, put Ben out there. But the other half, the half that sits on the couch on Sunday and you watch a play happen. Right. And you're like, why is he out there? Right. Why did you do that? Right. You're not playing for nothing. Now he's gone for the season. Right. Happened to Heath Miller last year. Right. We weren't playing for a playoff spot. Right. Heath Miller goes out there, freak accident, gets hurt. Now we didn't get him back until last month. Right, right. I understand what you're saying. So I mean, the fan in me is like, we're not playing for nothing anymore. Let's just see what's going on.
But the football fan,
and that analysts and all that kind of stuff is going play. Keep playing it because that's what that. Of course, Ben's not going to be happy about it. Ben's like, I want to play, and I understand that. Yeah. Coaches understand that, but the deal is that when you look at it at the standpoint, if you're not playing for anything. Let's see what our other talent is. Right. It's no difference to me than a team that goes from 2-11, right, opposed to 5-9. If you're not in it for anything anymore, right. It's no difference to me.
You still not going to the playoffs.
You're still not going to the playoffs. So what happens if the starting quarterback ain't getting the job done? You throw someone else out there. Right. Well, you've had this shot to get us there. AFC is so weak, so forth and so on. Exactly. So we'll go ahead and go on with the matchups. Yeah. So Miami and Pittsburgh, which thing?
Honestly, as well as the Pittsburgh Steelers have been playing this quarter of the season, well, after that last quarter, they played pretty good. They played some good football. Right. I think, and then Miami has to come to Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm gonna say with confidence that I feel like Pittsburgh will win that game because the defense is coming around. The offense is playing a whole lot better. I'm still not, even though Miami, even though their front four is very good, and you know the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is a suspect. I'm not for sure if Le'Veon Bell's going to play.
He's going to play.
So if Bell plays, then they'll be able to do their play action. They'll be able to do all the stuff they want to do. And on top of that too, I think they kind of want to send a message to Mike to Wallace that hey, we good without you. We don't need you.
I agree with that.
I know Wallace is going to want to show out.
And that's the thing is that him and Emmanuel Sanders have been communicating. They still communicate even whenever he went down there to Miami.
Right.
And the thing that Mike Wallace and him have been talking about is how how Mike's just 300 yards on the defense on Pittsburgh's side. Of course, Emmanuel's telling them that I'm going to get 300 yards on y'all. So it's a friendly competition between each other. So that's just the way it is. When you leave one team to go to another team and that team has to play that team that same year, you kind of want to say, you needed me more than you thought.
Right, exactly.
And so, of course, Brian Hartline is actually their leading receiver anyways.
Right.
So, but Brian Hartline isn't going to be covered by Ike Taylor.
And Hartline, the reason Hartline can do what he does is because Mike Wallace takes the top off the defense.
And that's the thing. So, Ike's going to stay on him.
Right.
Brian Hartline will have a hard time getting open.
I think so too.
But I for some odd reason, Tannehill has been able to just find Hartline everywhere.
Right.
So, but I still believe that Pittsburgh will win that game.
Right.
I don't think because it's a must-win game, but I do believe that they will win that game. From what I saw previous against how they played against the passing attack from Detroit, how they were able to really, hold Calvin Johnson into check and Reggie Bush in check and all that kind of stuff. So I do feel that with that sort of a passing game, they should be able to do it.
Right.
Now, Ike Taylor's going to have to get on his guard a little bit because he even let Torrey Smith get on him.
That's the thing about Mike Wallace. He's going to always be fast.
Well, the deal is that, Ike Taylor takes a lot of credit and he gets a lot of stuff dumped on him.
Right.
He demands the top receiver week in and week out. There's no switching.
Right.
He's always drawn up. So sometimes you're going to win them, sometimes you're going to lose them.
Right.
But I think they'll win that one. So going on to Cincinnati and the Steelers.
Look, and I'm gonna go out on a limb because look, Cincinnati has played well, but they've been winning real ugly here lately. When I say well, I mean their record would make you think that they've been playing well, but they've been playing really ugly.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati comes to Pittsburgh, and look, and here's the thing, when they played Cincinnati the first time.
I think it was week 2.
Yeah, I think it was week 2. Let me make sure. Yeah, well, they played them the first time. It was 20-10 up in Cincinnati. The game was closer than what the final score was.
Yeah.
So I think that they'll be able to beat Cincinnati because Andy Dalton has not played well, and AJ Green never has a good game against Ike.
And that's the thing is that for some odd reason, AJ Green shows out lights out against everybody else. But when he plays against Ike, I don't know if Ike comes to his house in the morning or something and just intimidates him because. You can't see AJ Green. It's like AJ Green changes jerseys with somebody else.
Exactly.
AJ Green is not a factor.
Right.
And so that's in pretty much every game.
Now, we've been saying that this is going to be a game that AJ Green will go for 300 yards.
But no, but again, it is a must-win game. But
yeah,
I do see a difference in Pittsburgh from week 2.
From week 2 to now. Yeah.
And like I said, if they can seriously hold that AJ Green and Andy Dalton connection to a minimum, and just allow Gresham to
do you got Gresham, you got Sanu, you got all these other parts, but no real number 2.
Right. I think let them dink and dunk. That's fine.
I think the real problem.
Let that running back who is
Giovanni Bernard. That's what I'm saying. That's the issue. That's the one you got to keep under control.
Get off the ground.
Right.
You let him be that green that green Atlas. Let him get to line. Stop.
Right.
Don't let him get those 30, 40 yards.
Let him get loose.
Once you do that, you open up that play action. You have no choice but that Andy Dalton and AJ Green did.
Right.
But if you hold him and let Gresham and Sue and all them other ones take care of what they need to take care of, just the dink and dunks, and you don't get the stuff over the top, which I don't think will.
Right.
But if you don't allow that to happen,
they got to keep the wraps on Giovanni Bernard. Then you keep Bernard under control. I think the rest of the stuff will kind of take care of itself.
Yeah, because nobody else really scares you.
No.
Green Ellis don't scare you.
Nope.
Green Ellis isn't that running back anymore that will take to the line and drag you 20 yards down the field, 15 yards. Pollard, what he'll do, he'll get to the line and he'll break that line.
Right.
He's got that elusive speed to where there's nothing you can do. And that was their problem in week 2. They didn't know anything about this kid.
Right.
Because he was I think
he's a rookie.
Yeah, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
So he was drafted in. So nobody knew anything really much about him.
Right.
So it was that whole, well, what can he do? What can he not do?
Right.
Well, he showed you what he can do.
Right.
And if you're not there to stop him when he hits that hole,
right,
you're not going to stop him.
You're not going to catch him.
He's going to be down 32 yards down the field making a touchdown.
Right.
Simple as that. You hang that kid to minimum yardage if possible.
Right.
You're not going to be able to stop him.
Right.
Just hold him to that minimum so that play action doesn't get carried away.
Right. Exactly.
And then they have a chance to win that game.
Yeah. So we're both agreeing that they'll beat Miami in that first game of the final quarter, and then also beat Cincinnati, and then they play Green Bay. Look,
that's going to be an interesting game because it's going to be hard for me to really pinpoint if they're going to win or lose because I don't know if he's playing or not.
Right.
If Rodgers plays, in my opinion, I strongly feel they have enough tape on the Steelers and Dick LeBeau's offense to pick them apart as they did when they played in the Super Bowl.
Right.
I just have a hard time picking the Steelers against that quarterback. If he plays and if he's healthy. He is coming off a collarbone break.
Injury, right.
So he may be healthy enough to throw, but how good is his throw is going to be, how accurate they're going to be, I don't know.
And the thing about it is that if he's, let's say, because he's slated to possibly play this week.
No, he's not
going to play.
Yeah, I'm just
so he'll have one game basically if he plays next week.
Right.
To be ready for the Pittsburgh Steelers game. And this is the thing for them. So just like we were talking earlier, if he's healthy enough to play, and we don't do the Green Bay Packers. If you like to do the Green Bay Packers, leave a comment at the bottom. But we don't do the Green Bay Packers. But if he liked to play, or he's healthy enough to play, but they lose this week or next week, they're gonna sit him.
Yeah.
They're gonna sit him and just go with Flynn the rest of the season.
Right. Now if they play Flynn,
right,
then Steelers have
Pittsburgh wins.
Pittsburgh has a good, hands down, better shot.
If they play Flynn, they win. But because here's the thing with Aaron Rodgers.
If they play Flynn, they win.
Yeah.
I like that.
Need to put that on a T-shirt.
I do. I need to copyright that.
Right. But if they play
here, we got evidence.
Yeah, it started here first. If you ever see it on a shirt, you know where it started.
If they play Flynn, they win. So, but yeah, I totally agree because I don't think with Troy Polamalu, because the way Dick LeBeau has him playing now, he's a free safety, but he's playing linebacker spot.
Right, exactly.
And the reason is because he's more destructive down low.
Right. At the line.
Because you don't know if he's coming or going.
Right.
When he's back in the back and you see him walking up, chances are 9 times out of 10 he's coming all the time.
Right.
He'll still be able to break off with that shallow crossing route, but more times than not he's coming. Now, and I've seen a lot of the film, he'll walk up to that line at linebacker spot, and he'll either stay in his zone, he'll break off to the middle, he'll break off in the man.
You don't know what he's going to do, right.
Or he'll come. Now you have no clues because Dick LeBeau's got him playing down because now they've got more help over the top with Ryan Clark.
Like
they brought back Cortez Allen. You've got back William Gay now.
It almost sounds like they're making a kind of like a play on what Seattle likes to do.
Right.
And they're what they call a triangle defense. And I think Mike Mayock, was it Mike Mayock or?
I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, whoever broke that thing down for me the last time that I saw them play did a fabulous job. Might have been. Who did they play last?
They played the Saints. Are you talking about the one in Bears
game? Yes. Was that a Monday night game?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was John Gruden broke it down on this triangle defense that they play. Did a beautiful job doing that, and it's kind of reminds me of what Pittsburgh likes to do too. Right now, because you got all these people in the box and you just don't know who's coming.
Right.
So it just creates all kind of blocking issues on your offensive line because they got to get all this stuff cleared up before the ball snaps. They just have no idea who's coming. So so it's like this. If like you said already, if
they play Flynn,
they win. Yeah.
They win.
So we're going with the Steelers if they play Flynn.
Yeah. If they play Rodgers, I'm still going to lean a little bit to the Steelers, depending on when Rodgers plays.
Right, exactly.
Since Rodgers not playing this week, if he's playing next week, and if the only reason why he's not playing this week is because he hadn't had enough practice time,
right,
but he's good enough to play,
right,
then I'm going to lean a little bit to Green Bay, because I think just because the experience factor that Rodgers plays in that whole deal. I think before the Super Bowl when they played, it was three years ago, I think is what it was, before the Super Bowl, and the only reason why Pittsburgh won that game was it was like a last 2 seconds of the game when Ben Roethlisberger threw a miraculous pass into the end zone to Hines Ward.
Right.
So it wasn't like it was, Pittsburgh all the way. It was Green Bay was winning that game until the last 2 seconds.
Right.
And then, of course, when they played at the Super Bowl in Dallas Stadium, 2 years ago, it was, Green Bay dominated that whole thing. They took Troy Polamalu out the game, and then everything else. I do believe that if, depending on Rodgers' health, his accuracy, and everything else going forward after the surgery or after the healing process, I might lean a little bit more towards Green Bay. But as of right now, I'm going to lean towards Pittsburgh. If they play Flynn, they win.
So the last team that we playing in this last quarter of the season, they'll be playing the Cleveland Browns, and Cleveland will be coming to Pittsburgh. So now, if everything falls out the way that we're saying is going to fall out,
they should be 4-0.
They should be 4-0. And here's the thing: if you look at the beginning of the season, because it's just amazing to me that they are here at this point with the way their season started.
Right.
I'll even say during halfway of the season.
Yeah, because at the very beginning, I believe, I have to go back and look at the film, but I had them 4-0 start.
Right.
I'd have never thought in a million years that for any reason they'd have lost all 4 games going into their bye.
Exactly.
I figured they had at least won 1, maybe 2. But I really had them at all 4 of those games were pretty much winnable games.
Right.
I mean, what does Tennessee really have done? Really much of nothing. After that big win,
they've been up and down, but it's like this. You'd figured they'd have beat Tennessee. I think we were both kind of split on the Bengals game. And then when they played, and we're talking about the first quarter of the season.
Yeah, the very first 4 games.
Then they played Chicago. I'm not sure if it was split or not because I think we both were saying.
I think we both were split because I had Steelers winning out on all of them.
Right.
So I think we were split on that one, but again, nobody in their right mind believed
that Trestman. 0-4.
Yeah, right. Trestman was going to come in there and have that program shooting on all 8 cylinders,
right? Exactly.
Or all 12 cylinders, whatever car you like to drive,
right?
And coming off that way, their defense was dominant. Their offense was dominant. I mean, and then of course Minnesota. What has Minnesota done the rest of the season? Really much of nothing.
Right, exactly.
So they go into London and then they beat the Steelers. So again, I'd have never thought that they would have went 0-4.
Right.
I'd have thought they maybe went 2-2.
2-2 at the worst. Right, exactly.
Or like I said, I had them going 4-0.
Right.
Because all 4 games were winnable. Because at the time it was. It was a brand new offense going in Chicago.
Right.
Very easily to win that game. But again, like I said, hindsight's 20/20.
Right.
And then again, when they played the Bengals, you play the Bengals, you got tape on the Bengals. Normally, you beat the Bengals at the Bengals.
Right.
Normally, history shows that's what you do. So there should have been no reason why you didn't. But like I said, you had a rookie running back you knew nothing about. He comes in and then you go 3 for 15 on 3rd down. You can't do that.
Right. I mean, they started the season at 3-6, basically. They started the first half of the season 2-6, and now here we are, and they have a shot.
Yeah, it's a small shot.
But a shot nonetheless. At making the playoffs. So if they go 4-0 like we're predicting that they will, who knows? We may be talking about them going to the playoffs in the wild card game against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wouldn't that be nice to see Baltimore Ravens not be able to do that?
Not Kansas City Chiefs. With the $100 million man?
With the $100 million man sitting on the sideline not being able to go.
Yeah, that would be funny.
I'd laugh. Even if we lost, I'd still laugh.
Right.
Only because they paid that man $100 million and, Joe Flacco was just sitting there in the cold, just sitting at home. I'd laugh.
You would really love that a lot.
I would love that a lot. I think we're done now.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us here on Couch Coaching as we wrapped up the Pittsburgh Steelers 2013 season. If you liked anything that we had to say or have any comments, please leave them at the bottom of the page.
Subscribe.
And subscribe. Thank you for that. And if you want to contact us,
CouchCoaching12 at Yahoo. No.
Gmail.
Thank you. Gmail. Sorry. CouchCoaching12@gmail.com. Write us an email. We'll be more than happy to write you back.
Yep.
We've also got a Facebook, Couch Coaching 12 as well on Facebook. Hit us up there, friend request. Have a good one.
Peace.
I got too many guys' blessed emails. That's what the problem is.